Hello everyone, this is Manjunath Deganoli, and I am the chemistry faculty in Jain PU College. And in this video, we are going to discuss about the chemistry practicals. First of all, I would like to welcome you all for the chemistry practicals because you people are going to experience for the first time about the chemistry lab. It makes sense to understand what are the things that you are supposed to do and what are the things which you are not supposed to do in the chemistry practical. So in this video we are going to discuss about do's and don'ts in a chemistry laboratory. So the first point is wear lab coat or apron while working in the laboratory. Why? Because in chemistry practicals, you will be coming across many chemicals. You will be handling different chemicals, and those chemicals, by mistake, if they get spilled on your clothes, it may damage your clothes and even your skin. So, in order to avoid this, it is important to wear the lab coat. Second point, check and read the label of the reagent bottle carefully before using its content. As I told, in the chemistry practicals, you will be coming across different chemicals, and those chemicals will be kept in different reagent bottles. So, before using any of the chemicals from the reagent bottle, first check and go through the label of that particular reagent bottle and then use its content. Without going through it, don't use the content that is there in that particular reagent bottle. Then read procedures and precautions carefully and follow them. Before performing the experiments, go through the procedures that has been given in the manual. No doubt, the lab instructor in the beginning, he will be explaining it first. After that, you people go through the procedures that has been given in the manual and take the precautions and then start performing the experiment. Next point, it is a bad practice to leave the reagent bottles on the working table. After using the chemicals from the reagent bottles that will be kept on the shelf, don't keep the reagent bottles on your working table. After using the chemicals from the reagent bottle, again you go and keep the reagent bottles in its same place, that is in the shelf where it was present. Next point, put the stoppers properly on the bottles and keep them on the shelf immediately after the use. Whatever chemicals you are using from the bottles, after the use, make sure you are putting the stoppers properly on that bottle. After using the chemical from that particular bottle and putting the stopper, then immediately you keep the same bottle in the shelf where it was present earlier. Next, if a reagent bottle on your set is empty, ask the laboratory attendant to fill it. If any of the reagent bottles in your shelf is empty, then bring that note into the notice of laboratory attendant. He will fill it. Don't go for filling by yourself. Please bring that into notice of the laboratory attendant. He will help or he himself will fill it. Then if you require a reagent from the bottle kept on the side shelf, take the test tube or the beaker to the shelf. Do not bring the bottle to your seat. There are certain reagent bottles which will be kept in the side shelf, and that is in common for all the students, those who are present in a particular batch. So, if you want any chemicals from the reagent bottles that has been kept on the side shelf, what you do is either you take the test tube or the beaker, go to the side shelf, take the chemicals from that particular bottle, and then keep the reagent bottle in its same place, and then you come back to your working table. Don't bring the reagent bottles from the side shelf to your table. If you do so, the other students are going to suffer. So don't make such things, such mistakes. If you want chemicals from the side shelf, take the test tube or the beaker, and then you go to the side shelf, take the chemicals and keep the reagent bottle back to its same place, and then you return back to your working place. Next, avoid using excessive amounts of reagents unless you are advised to do so. Whenever you are performing the experiments, make sure whatever chemicals you are using, use it economically. How much you require, only that much you use. Don't use in excess and waste the chemicals. Next, never return unused chemicals to the stock bottles. If you commit a mistake in putting the material back into its correct bottle, experiments of other students will be spoiled. Whatever chemicals has been given to the individual group or the student after your experiment, don't return the unused chemical to the stock bottle. Whatever chemicals has been left after performing the experiment, don't pour the chemicals in the stock bottles. If you are going to do some mistakes by this one, other students are also going to suffer. Okay, so whatever unused chemicals is left with you, don't put it in the stock bottle. Next, never mix the chemicals unless it is required in the experiment. Failure in the following Failure in following this rule may result in serious accident. Don't mix the different chemical unless and until you are advised to do so, because there are certain chemicals on mixing which will explode. Okay, it may cause major damage. So until and unless you are told to do so, don't mix any chemicals in the lab. Next, use only properly cleaned droppers, spatulas or pipettes, etc. to take out the reagents from the stock solution and reagent bottles. There are some chemicals which has been kept in the reagent bottles. If you want them, then either use the droppers, spatula or pipettes which are clean. If any dust particles are present on those apparatus like droppers, spatulas or pipettes, that may react with the chemical, so the entire chemical will be of no use. So before using droppers, spatulas or pipettes, make sure they are in clean condition. Next, do not keep the stopper of the bottle on the table. Impurities may stick to it and the content of the bottle may be contaminated. Whenever you are using the chemicals from the reagent bottle, you will be opening the stopper of that particular reagent bottle. That stopper, don't keep it in on the table, because whatever impurities are present on the table, it may get stick to that stopper, and after using, if you are going to close the reagent bottle with that same stopper, the chemicals present inside the reagent bottle will get contaminated, which is of again no use. Next, never throw used matchsticks, litmus papers, broken glass apparatus, filter papers, or any other insoluble material into the sink or on the floor. Dispose them off in the waste bin provided in the lab. Only liquids should be thrown in the sink while keeping the tap water running so that nothing sticks and the waste liquid is drained completely. That means whatever insoluble solid materials you are using in the experiment, after using the same insoluble solid material has to be thrown in the dustbin that has been provided in the laboratory. Don't throw them in the sink. If you are going to do so, the sink will get what you can say, sorry, the sink will get blocked and we can't use that. That is why whatever insoluble solid material is there, put it back after using into the dustbin. But whatever liquid waste is there, that should be thrown in the sink by keeping the tap on, because when you throw the liquids into the sink, nothing will stick into the basin. So keep the tap water on and then you throw the waste liquids into the sink. Next one, do not waste water or gas. After using the water, tap water or gas, make sure you are going to turn it off. Next one, hot apparatus should not be placed on working table directly because it may spoil the working table. Place it on a tile or a wire gauge. Whenever you are performing the experiments in which you are going to heat the apparatus, okay, that hot apparatus should not be kept directly on the working table. Those hot apparatus should be placed on a tile or a wire gauge in order to keep your working table clean. And the last point is, do not heat the apparatus which is made of thick glass. Example, graduated cylinder, bottles, measuring flask, etc. as this break on heating. Remember, whatever apparatus are made up of glass, make sure you are not going to heat it for a longer period of time, because these glass apparatus, if you are going to heat for a longer period of time, they will break on heating for a longer period. So these are the things which you are supposed to follow while performing the experiments. I hope you have understood what to do and what not to do in the chemistry lab. So in the next video, we will be discussing about the first experiment, that is introduction to basic lab equipments. Until then,